Hi, YouTube. Brick Smith. How's it going? And welcome to Forever Sorting with Kevin A. Hinkle. Last time we left our hero, he had just became assistant store manager or assistant to the store manager. I'm not sure which way that works. If you watch The Office, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, back at the ranch, Kevin was in the Colorado Mill store doing his thing. He had just graduated from college. I believe we talked about that. He had seen some things that you can't see. You had to write the sign a disclosure formation and all that good stuff. Without further ado, this is my friend, everybody's favorite former Lego employee group,
That's a great honor.
Kevin A. Hinkle.
I'm honored.
Kevin, welcome. And before we get started, tell us where to find you on the internet.
Absolutely. Thank you again for joining me on this quest, Julian.
This forever driving,
forever quest. And thank you to everybody who has joined us and listened to any of the episodes. Even if this is your first episode, thanks for joining. Thanks for listening.
And if you're like me, you'll just sit back and
bam,
enjoy the ride.
There it is. So as Julian said, I am Kevin Hinkle. If you have any interest in following me on social media, I go by @Mr. Kevin Hinkle on all social media platforms. If you have an interest in only following my artwork, which does include my Lego builds, that would be Mr. Hinkle Draws on all social media platforms. And last but not least, I do also create a comic series for Lego fans called Bricks in the Middle. It's about Lego fans. It's for Lego fans. And that is online at bricksinthemiddle.com. It's on social media at BITM Comics. And it is also printed in every other issue of Brick Journal magazine.
Speaking of magazines, Kevin, some news just came down the pipe here in the last little while. And I say that because who knows when this will air.
The future.
Now, that's the internet, but where can they find words?
Words are good. Yes,
Words with Kevin.
So I was given the okay to finally announce that I have agreed to be a columnist for a forthcoming magazine. So it is not out yet, but the first issue of Brick Fanatics magazine will be coming out, I think, at the end of this month. And then that's kind of a teaser issue to kind of show you what's going on. And then next year, 2019, that will be a regular publication.
Are we US or are we UK? What are we?
It's created in the UK.
Of course,
but it's global subscription. You can subscribe anywhere.
Distribution. So, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Hinkle has gone global on us now.
I'm global. I'm international.
Yeah.
International. So, yeah, I will be contributing to a column each issue that I will tackle frequently asked questions, which pertain specifically to my career working within the Lego group. So, the very first...
What you were doing here.
This is my story.
This is
my story. That is a little bit more. I mean, we haven't gotten the tail to the community chapter of my life.
I'm right.
But the column really hones in on that community chapter, and it's all the questions I got asked over and over and over again. So my first question that I tackled on my introductory column was, "You must have the best job in the world."
Yeah.
That's my first question that I tackled, which I was asked often.
Now, before we move on, and I'm so happy for you, Kevin. I got myself up on the big screen because, this beauty.
Behold.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to make a quick announcement about something else. Kevin Hinkle doesn't keep anything Lego related away from me. He's not tight-lipped at all. He's like a sink and chip. He always tells me everything. I had no idea this was happening. Good job, Kevin, for keeping your mouth shut.
I was sinking ship. I love it. Yeah, well, hey, I was told keep it a secret till they're ready, so I did. Or else penalty of sinking a ship.
Sinking of ships.
Yep.
Loose lips and whatnot.
Exactly.
Anyway, but yeah, there you go. So we are this is episode 10.
Are we double digits?
We are double digits. We have arrived, and that's not counting any of the special editions.
Specials. Yeah.
We've had 4 of those.
That probably sounds about
Yeah,
right.
we had the Brick World one. No, Brick Fair.
Brick Fair. Yep.
Sorry.
That's okay.
We had
a Q&A.
Q&A, and we had a photo fun.
Yeah, and then we had the field trip.
The field trip because I screwed up.
That's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I know. And this is a little weird thing I'm doing right now. I just like to congratulate three Lego fanatics for their now you shook your head like you thought you know what I'm talking about. You have no idea. I'm congratulating Hoosier. Ha! You didn't even know.
I don't know.
Hoosier, Bricksomniac, and the Lego Freak, because they are all getting Lego stores within driving distance of their houses.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, and not one of them temporary pop-ups either. I think they're all 3 getting real ones.
Real deals.
Real deals. Outlets.
Real deals. That's awesome.
Now with that,
their wallets may not thank them.
Now you can congratulate that other person then, which is what you were thinking about.
What other person?
The one got a job.
Oh, I mean, I can. I wasn't.
And because that was what you were thinking I was going.
No, I didn't know where you were going. Actually, to be honest, I thought you had like a note of people that had watched every episode or something, and you're like, I want to congratulate these people for catching every. I thought that's where you were going, maybe.
I'm sorry, no. Lord, we've done it.
Hey,
now.
If you have seen every episode, though, you need to let us know.
Right in the comments.
If you're up to date and caught up on everything, raise your hand.
Right, please, and expect us to shout you out next in episode 11 or 12
in the future.
Maybe on the short sort. I don't know.
In the future. So yeah, but yeah, our good friend Joey,
yay, Joey,
aka Maniac for Bricks.
Maniac
for Bricks has officially accepted a job working at the pop-up Lego store in New Jersey.
Love it.
And today was his very first day. So congratulations, buddy. Good luck.
Hey, super jelly.
We're all counting on you.
Yeah, we are. Use the force.
Cool. So yeah, so I guess is that we're into it, right?
I think after that 6-minute intro, we're good.
Nice.
Not our record, so we're doing good.
Nice. So yeah, as you said in the great tale, where we left off, I'm still in Colorado, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I lived there for a long time. It was a pretty big part, but I have climbed the ranks up to an assistant store manager.
Assistant to the store manager.
Right. Keeping tally. This is the first time I had applied in my Lego career to be a store manager was at that Colorado Mills location. That was our earlier tale about how I didn't get that, but I was given the assistant manager role kind of as a consolation prize, I guess, which is still good. It was up. It was a raise.
But, I am so excited and cannot wait to hear about the story when he becomes the store manager at Colorado Mills.
Yes, the lost episodes. So that was still, of course, in my mind was still that aspiration of going one more step and being the store manager. I graduated college, as I had mentioned. I think I mentioned at least a little bit last time. Is I was doing a little bit of freelance work, not a lot. Wasn't really paying the bills, so I was focusing on the Lego career. So something else popped up a couple months into working with Eric, who was my new store manager.
The cell phone guy.
The cell phone guy. Is that Lego was opening up another new Lego store. So I mean, now we have come so far in this tale where, in 2005 we have 20 Lego stores in the world. We're not opening any, we're closing some. And then now we're zoomed ahead, and now we're opening up stores left and right, all over the place.
Give us a year, Kev.
This would be 2008, I believe. Yeah, should be 2008.
Wow.
So they decide to open up another store, and the reason this one piques my interest is because this one is in my home state of Texas.
God bless Texas.
So this would actually be the second Lego store they would open in Texas. The first one is in the Friendswood area, which is like a suburb of Houston. But Friendswood, Texas, that was the first one. That was in Baybrook Mall. This one was in Dallas. I think more specifically Stonebriar Mall, if I remember correctly. So I said, man, that would be kind of cool. I mean, I'm not from Dallas, but I'm from Texas, and maybe I give it a shot. So while I'm still, I'm there, I'm doing my job, I'm putting in, 100% all the time, and I'm supporting Eric and working with him to change what he wants to change with the store, which of course is a lot of things, which is just the nature of the game. That's how it is.
Yeah.
I make my ambitions clear that I want to move up, and I have an interest in this new store that's opening, and he agrees to support me. He agrees to kind of do what he can to, in his words, prepare me for that potential opportunity.
Wait, hold on. I hate to be the guy. So, I've worked at the Lego store for 3 years. That's
Yep. Yep.
Is going to take advice from somebody who's been around the Lego game for months.
Yeah, I know. Yep. And so the way I saw it is, this is the guy this is my direct manager. So this is the person I work for. So I feel like if I'm going to try to branch out or move up or move somewhere, he's going to have to be a part of this somehow. It would probably be better if he's on my side than against me.
Isn't how that last manager worked out for you?
Yeah, we all know about that. And again, and I don't think there was super nefarious plots, but I do think in hindsight it was in his benefit also to get me out, because I had been there a long time. There was a lot of loyalty to me from the staff. A lot of them, just straight up, they respected me more than they respected him. And so there was a lot of, Kevin, could you please tell them to do this because they don't listen to me. And it's like, yeah, I'll do that. So, it wasn't his interest to move me up and move me out.
Right.
And so he agreed. He said, hey, it's awesome to hear that you want to do this. I'm willing to help you and give you a recommendation or do whatever. So when the role store manager of this Dallas store, I applied for it. And there was no secret other portal, other place that Lego employees, would apply versus where the generic public go. There is now. Just so another behind the curtain moment, there is a separate place that Lego employees apply for jobs. It's internal only.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's through an HR portal. So those are, not necessarily jobs that will never see the light of day on the regular site. Some of them do, but there's a chunk of them that will never be posted. So this was just on the regular jobs.lego.com site. And so I said, "Oh, store manager
application anymore."
Nope, not anymore. Now we're in digital.
Yay, technology!
We've moved up. We're moving on up.
Yeah.
So I applied, and Lego's interview process. Of course, everything deviates over the years. There's always exceptions, yada yada yada. But for the most part, they follow this kind of 3-step thing. When you apply to a job, you'll have a phone interview first. Mm-hmm. Your phone interview will be with somebody from HR. They kind of are weeding out the people that are just awful. That's kind of their goal. Right. Very generic questions, kind of your textbook interview questions. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Tell us why you want to work for Lego.
My weakness is I have too many strengths.
I have too many strengths and I don't know how to control them all. Yeah, that kind of stuff. And so that would be the first step.
His kryptonite. Oh.
And I'm pretty confident I did that. And then there's the second interview, and the second interview is usually with the hiring manager, the person you would work for. And the third interview could be either in person or on the phone, is usually somebody that the hiring manager wants a second opinion from. So they'll say, "Hey, I like this guy. You know, we're maybe like you're a manager of your store. I'm a manager of my store. I want your opinion on this person." That's usually the third interview. So I applied for this store in Stonebriar, Dallas, and I got through the first interview, the phone call, and they said, "Okay, we want to move you to the next phase, which is in person."
Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin is competent. That's good to hear.
I'm yes, I moved through.
Complete.
I moved through, and so they said the next step will be in person, and we want you to meet with the hiring manager and a couple other people and some other people that we've selected to kind of do like an all-day workshop interview, which was different for me. I never heard of such a thing.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, but it was in Dallas, and I'm in Denver. I was like, oh, okay. So something that was actually really cool that I didn't anticipate is Lego actually sent me to Dallas for that. So I didn't have a corporate card. I didn't have anything like that. But so Eric, who was my store manager, he had to expense my plane ticket and send me down to Dallas for this interview. And, you know, he gave me a bunch of advice. You know, he one of the things I do remember he was very specific at was make sure you wear suit and tie, suit and tie, suit and tie, suit and tie. I remember him saying that a lot. And I was like, okay, all right. And, you know, like what you said earlier, this guy hasn't been in the Lego game very often. He came from the cell phone world. What does he know? But also, I'm thinking in my head, but he got the job and I didn't. So maybe, you know, so I'm like, so maybe there's something to it. You know, it can't hurt. And so I did. I traveled to Dallas with a suit and tie. And it was kind of weird. It was kind of weird because I was the only internal applicant. So for this job as store manager of the Lego store in Stonebriar, I want to say there was 5 applicants, maybe 7 that had made it through. And I was the only internal. So everybody else was external. So not Lego employees currently.
That's weird.
But because I'm a Lego employee, I'm already an employee of the Lego group. They need to cover my expenses. This is not just something that I'm a guy, I'm going to get there. So they need to cover, like, how do we get this employee from the airport to the interview site? How do we get this employee fed? You know what I mean? Like it's a little different. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
So the HR lady, she was like, okay, well, we need to pick him up from the airport, but she's also hiring for it's kind of odd. It's like, we got to pick him up from the airport and take him to the hotel because they did it at a hotel. Like they booked a conference room at a hotel. And it was, I had a hotel room for the night because I'd fly out the next morning.
Right.
And so, whereas everybody else is just local, this is just their home. They just drive to the interview and go back home.
Folks. Okay.
Yeah, Dallas folks. And so it was kind of weird because I'm there and like the Lego HR lady has the hotel room like on her card, on her corporate card. I don't have a corporate card. Like I have to get a taxi, and then she has to like, hey, can you wait till I go get her so she can pay for the taxi? You know, kind of weird. That
is a little. That is definitely. But it also would for a lesser person like myself would make me feel like, well, I'm already in.
I mean, I did. I would definitely say that through the whole time, I thought I got this.
Yeah.
Like I'm already here. I'm already in. I'm already an employee. I'm confident. I've been running a store forever.
Yeah, there's no reason they would be spending all this money on little old me.
Yeah.
We're going to give it to some chump.
For sure. So, yeah, I'm there for this all-day interview in Dallas. And it starts off like a lot of Lego interviews in person start off. So if you ever happen to find yourself in a situation such as this, again, I will say exceptions happen. The formula changes. But for the most part, your first step is come in, have a seat. Oh, look, there's Lego bricks in front of you. Build something that represents yourself. So often. Right. And so I'm sitting there in this big hotel conference room that they've brought in some nice comfy chairs and stuff like that in. And there's just 3 coffee tables just covered in Lego elements and bricks and stuff like that. And then, of course, you know, there's me, suit and tie, a lady with a nice like suit jacket and, you know, skirt, and another guy with a nice dress shirt. And two other people, and we're all like huddling over, building. And of course, we go into the room, and there's bottled water and beverages, and they like, have fun. We want you guys to enjoy your interview experience.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it seemed like they put a lot of effort, a lot of money, a lot of time into this.
Wow.
The people that were there from Lego that were kind of judging this whole thing
Mm-hmm.
was the lady from HR, the store manager from the existing Texas store down in Houston. He had come up to Dallas. And there was one other person, I think it was the store trainer. So the lady that worked in infield and would go to the new stores and train the staff. Those are the three people that were kind of observing.
Can I just tell you how I felt when you were describing the interview process with all the Lego bricks on the tables? All I could see was Will Smith in the egg-shaped chair, Men in Black.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. As you can imagine, there's some people that are like, what are these? What do they do? And, I've seen over the years, there's not a lot you can build, really. And everybody it boils down to the same few things that everybody does. And everybody has the same spiel to talk about what they built. I built a car because I see myself going really fast in this job. And, it's like everyone just does the same stuff,
Was that yours? Because that
was not mine. That was not mine.
Oh, my God. We can still be friends.
That was somebody's, though. Or they build themselves. That was me. But they'll build some kind of form of themselves. Like, this is how I envision myself in the future. As you can see, I'm holding a Lego bag because I'm helping customers. And, it's just like everybody does the same cheesy thing. That's awesome. So, we get whatever it is, 30 minutes to build. We're all building. We don't know really each other. We've had maybe 10 minutes to meet and greet. We all have like name tags they've given. I mean, this is a big thing for like an interview.
I gotta stop. Would it have been inappropriate to ask for all the Lego bricks when you're done with the interview? Like, do I get the job? No. Can I have the bricks? Thanks.
Probably, but nah. I don't even know what happened to those bricks now that I think about it.
I need those in my life.
So, I mean, yeah, it was a full day. I mean, when we got to this room, I mean, we had a schedule printed out on a piece of paper of which things we're going to be doing. There was lunch provided. But this is, again, to set the stage, people, this is an interview. That's what this is. This is an interview.
It sounds like a work luncheon.
It's like a workshop. It's like a seminar somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we all got to kind of meet and greet and mingle. We were given folders with some information, with the schedule, water, coffee, tea, whatever. And then we start building. And so I built myself. I built myself like in mini land scale, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. And so I said, well, you asked me to build something that represents myself. So I built myself. And I built myself wearing the suit and tie that I was there in. And I also remember building a house, I think, like a small house, like into scale with the figure.
Was it your Lego house?
Yeah, it was like a little.
Were you at Sharon? No.
No, that was well before that happened. But it was something cheesy. I don't even remember. I remember, of course, all the other people in the group going like, that guy's a good builder. He's a good builder. I mean, that makes zero difference in an interview for a store manager. But all the other, my fellow interviewees were all like, oh, he's a really talented builder. He's good.
If it has anything to do with building, we're screwed.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of remember somebody saying something to that effect.
They were joking, Kevin.
Exactly. It was just to get me a false sense of security.
Right.
So we do that. We talk a little bit about the job, what it entails, us sitting there being told about all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And then it's time for one-on-one interviews, and like it's one person at a time. They split the three people split the group, and they all kind of rotate around and ask, I don't even remember the questions. They just ask questions. But then there's kind of like an essay part. So they get to a point where we each were given a piece of paper that has like a scenario on it. It's like, congratulations, you're the new store manager. You've inherited a store that has this many problems. And it has all these things. He goes, please develop a action plan for the next 6 months on how you plan to fix this. I remember reading it and going, this is my store.
Oh, I'm about to say.
Like this is my store, because it's like, it was eerie.
I wonder if they based it off your store, Kevin.
And they might have, because I mean, it just seems so bizarre. It was like, you're a store manager who's come into a new store that has recently lost their previous store manager. The assistant manager has been running it for the last several months and is now slightly disgruntled because they have not been. I mean, it was just like weird.
No, it didn't say that, did it, Kevin?
It did.
Oh.
And it said like morale in the staff is slightly high because people are loyal to the assistant manager, but not quite, or to the person in charge, the interim manager. And it's like, put together an action plan of how you are going to support this. Just
Kevin, do you have that paper?
No, that's long gone.
Shame on you. You should have. I could just see myself. I can just slip it right off the table, fold it in half, stick it right there in that jacket pocket. Like, look at this, honey.
It was just, I mean, the whole time I was reading it, I remember going, this is my life. This is what I'm doing. Afterwards, when everything was done, I remember asking or saying in conversation to the HR lady, I'm like, did you guys like steal our store script or something for the scenario? And she was like, oh, that's a very common story at like a lot of stores. And I was like, oh, okay. It seemed like it was
Kevin.
mine.
You were young then. I don't believe it for a second.
I know, like I was naive. That's what I was told. But
crap.
So we're all given this scenario and we're all told, split up, go wherever you want, walk around the hotel, go to the lobby, go to the business center.
Play with was one of any of the options play with the Lego on the table?
I think it could have been if you wanted. It wasn't verbally voiced.
Again, that's exactly where I would go.
Do better.
Get on the bricks.
And so, yeah, everyone I think was given an hour to just go do what you need to do. And then I think if I recall correctly, it was after an hour, everybody meet together. We're going to have lunch together.
Oh.
And then after lunch, you're all going to present your scenarios to the whole group, to everybody.
Oh, so you gave you an hour to go work.
Yeah, an hour to go work and then come back and eat and then present.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, all right. So yeah, I went off on my own. Everybody went off on their own, and you put together an action plan, which I thought was super easy. I said, all I have to do is just write what we've been doing for the last couple of months, like straight up.
Yep.
And I took a couple of the things that Eric was doing. I said, he's, because he's in that situation. I'm like, well, he's been doing this, and that seems to be working.
Yeah.
Because there was certain things that he had done that I did agree with. For example, having one-to-ones with the employees.
Sure.
The previous manager actually never did that.
Well, that's because she was the devil, but whatever.
It just never was on the radar. It was like, maybe, I think we had a couple meetings where everyone's in a group setting and whatever, but like an actual real one-to-one.
Yeah.
I am your boss. You are my employee. How are things going? Let's talk about it. And like, it never happened. And that was one of the first things that Eric did do that I liked. I said, wow, he actually does one-to-ones with the staff. Good thing.
Yeah.
So I stole a couple of his stuff and I put it in my action plan.
Good for you.
I remember when I had my one-to-one interview with the HR lady, I laughed because she knew who I was. She had known who I was for years.
Yeah.
And I sat down and she was like, Kevin, can I ask you, why the hell are you wearing a suit and tie? And I laughed and I said, Eric suggested I wear it. And she goes, you're making me uncomfortable. Can you please take it off? And I was like, fine. So I took off the tie and the jacket. And she goes, thank you. I was like, and I was the only person in the interview that was that dressed up. Like everybody had dress shirts and long sleeve shirts and button shirts and then polos, but I was all the way
to the nines, right?
And she was like, please, I'm uncomfortable. I'm like, thanks, Eric. So I mean, that was the thing I was thinking in my head. Thanks. So, so I remember when we got together to eat lunch,
mm-hmm.
And we had a couple different things by then that were like group setting questions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is when people finally came up to me in that group and they said, hey, you work for Lego already, don't you?
What the hell?
Like, that's when people were finally kind of catching on because of my answers I was giving and stuff. And I remember this one guy, his name was Greg, and he came over and he's like, well, there ain't no way any of us are getting this job. He's like, you're going to get it. I mean, you're already in there and you already know the answers to all these questions and everything. And I was like, oh, well, we never know. We'll see. And, just hamming it up.
You just be like, yes, I am.
And I thought it was kind of, I mean, I had so much confidence in that interview. And then when we got to the group presentations of every person mentioned me. Like, all the other interviewees mentioned me in some way. Like, they'd be like, well, if you take Lego employees, like Kevin, for example, just like name dropping me or whatever, like I'm like, I got this. Every person in here is talking about me. Like, how can I not get this job? How can I not get this job? And so, yeah, we did it. And then the day, and so here's another kind of awkward moment, being like an employee already. The day concluded. This was a day. The day concluded. Everybody handshakes. Thank you. We'll let you know in this many days, this many time, whatever. Appreciate everything. Enjoy your day. Everybody leaves.
Kevin, can you?
Except me, because I'm like, well, I'm staying here in this hotel until tomorrow morning. So, I mean, I just sat there. I said, well, I don't have anywhere to go. And so I sat there, and the HR lady, the trainer, and the other store manager started talking about what they thought, the impressions of different people, almost like they forgot I was there. And because I didn't get up. I was just like, well, I'm here.
Still, and nothing to do.
I didn't have a rental car or anything.
Were the bricks still on the table?
Yeah, those were still out, I'm pretty sure. And I might have been fiddling with them or something, but they did start talking, and like halfway through, they like all stopped and like looked over at me, and they're like, "What are you still doing here?" And I'm like, "I have nowhere to go till tomorrow." And they're like, "Kevin, we really like you, but you really do need to leave now." I was like,
"Get out."
Oh, okay. So that was me. It was awkward.
And you said, "Can I take the Lego with me?"
I did not say that. And I was like, oh, you're right. I'm sorry. And I got up and I went up to my hotel room and just sat there. I watched TV. I called my wife. Yeah. But I didn't really do anything exciting. I just, whatever.
Well, I mean, there's nothing to do in Dallas, is there?
Well, so I did the thing. I had breakfast the next day with the trainer.
Oh, there you go.
Because again, it's weird, and I wasn't told anything. But the next day, again, because she had to put the room on her card, she had to get my taxi on her card. This is the day before Uber and stuff like that. And so, we had breakfast together, and she was giving me just kind of impromptu like advice on when you're a store manager. Like, I remember she was paying for breakfast. She's like, remember, you need to itemize receipt when you're a store manager. And I was like, look at this. I'm already getting like tips. I mean, this is done. This is a done deal.
Absolutely.
And I went back. I went back to Denver, got on my plane.
Yeah.
Flew back, and I was just waiting to hear. But I was like, start packing. Let's get ready to move to Dallas.
This is locked in. You gave us the year. I can't ever remember your age.
2008.
Huh?
2008.
Yeah, but how old were you?
Oh. Hold on. Let me do some math. I'm an artist, not a mathematician.
That was 10 years ago.
Was that 10 years ago? So it's 22. Yeah.
When is your birthday?
What year or when?
What month? What month?
December.
Oh, okay. So you were 22.
I'm a Christmas baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was a done deal. Went back, business as usual. Got back to work. And I don't remember how much. I think like maybe 2 weeks went by, or something like that.
Did you yell at Eric for telling you to wear a suit?
I was like, hey, and he was like, well, it would have been better if you wore it and were told to take it off than if you hadn't. And I'm like, whatever, okay.
Yeah, whatever. You sir.
So okay.
Can I? Well, let me press your mind, see if you remember.
Sure.
I know you told us that you watched the people come in and get interviewed for the store position in Colorado.
Yep. Yep.
Was not Kevin, Eric, was Eric wearing a suit?
I think so. Yeah, I kind of remember him wearing a suit.
Okay. All
yeah.
Right. That makes
he was definitely. He definitely.
So it wasn't a trick on his part to just make you overdress.
No, I don't think so. I don't. Think
okay.
So. I mean, it'd be a weird. No, I don't think so.
I've done weirder to people. It's fine.
I'm sure you.
This guy.
What you want to do is you want to wear a pink Lego bucket on your head.
We're all doing it.
It's totally it's French right now. It's style.
Wait till Hoosier tells you the Yahoo story about Indiana, but it's fine.
Nice, I love it.
Like, is you one of them Yahoos in Philly? No.
So here's another interesting twist. So surprise, surprise, they decide to not give me the job.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Wait. And what's even?
Wait. Hold on. Wait.
Yeah. What? Yeah. So what's even better about this is I remember at the very end of the interview.
Come on, man.
They announced to the group. They said, "Oh, by the way, we haven't announced it publicly, but we're actually opening 2 stores in Dallas. So we're opening this store in Stonebriar soon, and then actually later on in the year, like maybe 6 months down, we're going to open up a second one called North Park, which is on the totally other side of Dallas. So maybe if one of you doesn't get that job for Stonebriar, there's an opportunity we could bring you on for the other store." So I'm sitting there, I'm already confident, like I got this job. And then I go, oh, well, if I don't get this one, I'll get the next one. Like, I'm just like, man, done. I mean, come on. And so
I just want you to know, Kevin, before you say another word, you are just absolutely effing breaking my heart.
I'm sorry.
Why are they jerking my boy Kevin around like that?
I don't know.
It's killing me. And why didn't he just go to Walmart when they wanted him?
Right. Yeah. So Eric, my boss, got a call from my district manager, Eric's boss, the guy that was in the photo that we looked at a couple times ago.
It's been about 8 weeks, but okay.
Yeah. And told Eric that they decided to not give me the job. And the reason again, who knows? Maybe it's all just nonsense. Was they thought I was too young. And the other thing that was interesting about that is they had no clue how old I was anyway. I mean, you could, if you did your math and you go through all the information, you can find it. But the only reason why it came up was because we were having, I have a visitor. Yes?
I'm going to bed, nothing flying down on the couch.
Okay. All right. Good night.
Good night. Oh, he can't.
Good night to all of you. So it again, a little bit of the weirdness, because I was an employee and being paid to travel around and do this. My flight was leaving at the same time the HR lady's flight was leaving to go back to Enfield. So we were at the same airport, like in Dallas, and I'm flying this way and she's flying that way. And we, took the same taxi over to the airport, and she's like, "Did you want to grab lunch before we?" I mean, it had nothing to do with the job. This is all now just, I'm a Lego employee already. You're an HR person, whatever. And I remember during lunch, at some point, somehow age came up. And I told her that I was, whatever it was, 22. And it was like watching a show. Like she spit out her drink. And I thought it was really bizarre for an HR lady, because she was like, she used profanity. She was like, "Are you kidding me? You're 20." And I was like, "Yes."
Never said a word.
And I mean, I didn't come up. I didn't think it doesn't matter. I mean, technically it's illegal to do that in an interview.
It's definitely illegal. It looks like it happened.
So I do remember, though, that happening, because I'm like, wow, that was very unprofessional for an HR lady to do that. Because, I mean, I still considered it on the clock. I'm sitting here with an HR representative in an airport eating lunch. Yeah. And we weren't talking about the job. We were just talking about work and whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that happened. And so then in hindsight, she was done when she heard that. Like, Kevin can't have this job; he's too young. And I guess somehow she overruled the other people. So I was told that everybody liked me. I was a shoe-in. There was no reason I shouldn't give it, but I was too young, according to the HR lady, and I shouldn't be given the opportunity. So the district manager was told that, and he told my boss, and he told my boss to tell me that I didn't get it. And I will give credit to Eric, because Eric told him, he goes, absolutely not. He goes, you're the hiring manager. It's for your other store. If you're not giving him the job, you need to tell him you're not giving him the job.
That's correct. That is absolutely correct. And let's not play past the buck here.
No. And I'm, credit is given. So I didn't know that conversation happened until after the fact, of course.
Wow.
But so Eric said that to him, and he goes, you need to call him and you need to tell him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he did, except he waited another week to do that. And so Eric was kind of in a weird spot because he knew for like a whole week that I didn't get it. And of course I keep talking about it and mentioning it. And, and
you're 22.
Yeah.
I was an absolute just maniac at 22.
Yeah. And so he kept it
crazy now.
kept it quiet. But then eventually, my district manager called me. He told me. I was super disappointed. He didn't mention age. He just said, we're not giving you the job.
You totally couldn't have mentioned age.
No. And I remember I asked him, I said, hey, I was told during the interview, because he wasn't at the interview. The district manager wasn't there, which is a little unusual, but I think he was doing something. I said, I was told that there's a second store and that there's opportunity. Is there? Like, is that a thing?
Are you taking my chain?
And he was like, oh yeah, we'll see. There might. And again, it was a little bit of a misleading.
No.
In hindsight, I found out that they had already hired both managers. Both weren't me at that interview.
Oh my.
But he told me, yeah, there's still opportunity. We're looking into it. There may be a chance for you. There wasn't. From that moment, there wasn't.
Oh my God. They have been just so backbitey and so sneakerative.
Yeah, and all these things, it's interesting because even in some of my other stories and other episodes, all these things that I'm telling you are things that I learned after the fact.
Yeah.
Because people just tell me. Like, it was not like this grand, I didn't go on an investigation.
No.
Like when my boss's boss finally called me and told me, Eric said, yeah, I've known for a week because and then all the information came from him. Yeah. So it's like, I'm not making this stuff up. Like, it all just was given to me after the facts. And so, again, I was told there's still a chance. And it's important for you to know, in this tale, in my mind, there is still that chance that it could be at the other store. Because I'm like, okay, all right, maybe they say there is. But I was upset, and I was actually really upset. I remember.
Don't blame you.
I remember getting off the phone, and I went to the back, and there was nobody else back there. There was no other employees back there. And I remember that it was a shipment day. There was some boxes, and I kicked a case of Lego sets. I would never do that.
No.
But I like drop kicked that thing. Like, I mean, I punctured the box.
Nice.
I was so mad.
Well, sure.
And I kicked it. It flew across the room. It hit the wall and fell down. And I remember sitting there going, why can I not get this promotion? Like, why? What is it about me that I'm not good enough? And I don't know. But
I've been there. It was not about a job, but I've been there.
Yeah, it's just.
Why do I suck as a person? Yeah.
So I was mad. And this is now the second time I've applied for a store manager role, and I haven't gotten it. And this time there was no consolation prize. It's just, nope, you're doing what you're doing.
You're still assistant to the manager.
You're still assistant to the manager. But there's still this glimmer of hope.
This carrot.
In my mind, that there's another store opening in the next couple months in Dallas. And as fate would have it, which I think is a really good spot to stop this story.
Okay, I like.
As fate would have it, as you've learned about me, I am a native Austinite. I am from Austin. My family's in Austin. My wife's family's in Austin. And I didn't get this job in Dallas, but there's a store opening like 6 months from now. And actually, in about 5 or 6 months from now, I'm planning a trip home to Austin to visit my family.
Nice.
So maybe something will line up. Maybe the stars will align.
That would be nice if they. At this,
but
I don't know how you made it out of Colorado.
right. Oh, wait. I should let me clarify.
Yes.
I'm planning a trip to Austin, and that store that I didn't get the job is opening. So the first Dallas store is opening, and so we're planning a family trip to go home, just to have go home, see family.
Absolutely.
And I go, oh, look, when we're going down there is when the grand opening is happening for the Dallas store, and we were not ever flying, like ever.
No.
Like the whole time I lived in Denver, when I took my family back to Austin, always a road trip, always. And so we were already planning a road trip, and I said, oh, when we're driving down, we'll be driving down during the grand opening of the Dallas store. So maybe I can go by and see it, and hey, get my face out there again, show them, hey, and maybe I can talk to them about that other store that's supposed to be opening.
Absolutely.
So that was in my mind, going, that's going to happen in a couple of months. So that's the tale for today.
Wow. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I can't. When I signed up for this and asked Kevin to give me the history of his Lego story, I did not realize that it was going to hurt my heart so much.
I'm sorry. It's all the truth. It's all the truth.
I know it is, but dang, man. I hope everyone else is enjoying this tale of woe.
Well, what's interesting is it's now. Well, we're still not even anywhere near. Like have we hit a halfway point in my career yet? Maybe not.
No.
But like all these things have made me who I am today.
Good.
And a lot of these things I have, like big chunks of them, I just don't even think about anymore. And I don't, like, as I'm actually going through this whole thing, I'm trying to remember all these important details and these little stories that in the moment didn't mean anything to me. Like they're just life. It's just life. It's just life. It's happening. But in retrospect, I'm like, oh, that happened. And then that happened. And then that caused that chain of events. So it's pretty wild.
Well, we're excited. You think maybe next episode we can get some good news? Oh, jeez. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
There'll be news.
There will be news. On that note, on that sad note, I'm Brick Smith.
Kevin
A. Hinkle. Thanks for joining us on Forever Sorting with Kevin A. Hinkle.
And remember, I'm sorry. I was gonna
go right ahead, Kevin. Whatever you need to say.
Gotta love those bricks.
There it is. Bye, everybody.